Well, with 1 week to go until ballots are counted, the race for Montana governor is down to the wire. Both the Republican and Democratic nominations are up for grabs next Tuesday. Well, tonight, Q2's Jay Cohn zeroes in on the race between Whitney Williams and Mike Cooney.
Who are you picking next Tuesday in the Democratic governor's race? Newcomer Whitney Williams or tried and true Mike Cooney? With virtually no public polling in this race, even the experts don't know what to expect.
You know, I absolutely have no clue. I mean, there's been no public polling in that race, so that doesn't give me anything to go by. The only other thing I can look at is the amount of money being spent, which is about equal on both sides.
Both in terms of spending and fundraising, the Cooney-Williams race is tight. And with the Williams camp buoyed recently by a $700,000 ad buy from Emily's List, it's getting tighter.
They dropped $700,000, which doesn't sound like a lot of money. We're used to these 50, 60, $70 million Senate races. But in a primary, in a time where media's television ads are still relatively cheap, and there hasn't been a ton of money spent in the primary, it's been about equal, that could maybe put enough of a finger on the scale to help Whitney Williams at the last minute.
Oftentimes you can get a feel for the outcome of a race by looking at fundraising. So here you go, the latest numbers as of mid-May. Williams has raised the most, eclipsing the $1 million mark. But just 30% of that comes from Montana. Half of her dollars come from out of state, as much as 21% from California, 14% from Washington state. And she's chipped in $55,000 of her own money. Mike Cooney has raised over $886,000 as of mid-May, with more than 8,000 separate donations. And when you add in the small non-itemized donations, as much as 3/4 of his cash comes from Montana. He's also getting money from all across the country, with small $5 and $10 donations from nearly every state, thanks to Act Blue, a national Democratic fundraising group. And another wild card this year, the all-mail-in election. And thanks to the pandemic, an evolving campaign face-off on social media.
My daughter, who's 9, plays a lot of games on the internet. She gets Whitney Williams ads a lot. That might show you a little bit that they've maybe done a better job of getting out there. On the other hand, my 9-year-old daughter's not voting.
Tomorrow night, who's winning the Cooney-Williams race in terms of endorsements? In Billings, I'm Jay Cohn reporting for MTN News.
All right, thanks so much, Jay. Now, if you haven't turned in your ballot yet, you have until Election Day next Tuesday to do so. Check for specific details at your local elections office.